This is a complete step-by-step social media strategy anyone can use to acquire clients for their online business in 2024 by mastering the two social media platforms, YouTube and Instagram. This video is not going to be entertaining, so if you're looking for a fun video to watch while you eat, this definitely is not for you. But if you're looking to educate yourself on how you can streamline your entire client acquisition process through social media, then keep watching until the end. I'm going to show you the whole process and how everything works on my computer, and we'll go from there. All right, so this is the step-by-step guide to generate IG leads for your online business in 2024. So before we kind of get into it, I'm going to show you that it does actually work. I'm not talking out of my ass. So we can see here, there's one of my clients, Vince. These are all the results he got. This is like his profile transformation here into what it is now. And then also, it says here that he closed a client for 5K down, and yeah, he made a lot of money there. And these are also some leads he generated through it. This is also the same system and process I used for my own IG to bring it from 0 to 1,000 followers, completely with niched content. So we weren't really trying to go viral, but trying to provide value to the market. And it is definitely a bit of a slower burn, but definitely worth it if you're trying to make money from your social media. And then also my YouTube as well. Still getting it started a little bit, but that is definitely part of the process. And just from this one video, I've gotten 20 subscribers and about 150 views. And this video is like a video sales letter, so getting 150 views on that is great. Yeah, so that's it actually working. And the strategy, so it's a 4-pillar strategy. Number 1, we want to position yourself as an authority. That's like the foundation, the first step. And then we want to create attention around what you have to offer after you are optimized and you are an authority. Obviously, we're going to want to drive traffic to that and create attention around it. And then the next step is nurturing that audience. So all that new traffic coming in, we want to nurture them, warm them up, and get them into obviously be a buyer. And then that's where we come into the conversion point, where we're taking that warmed up, nurtured audience and turn them into buyers for your program or service, whatever your online coaching business has to offer. Yeah, so getting right into it, this is like the table of contents almost. The first part, as I said, is positioning yourself as an authority. So this is the foundations. So the magic formula that will position yourself as the authority in your niche is problem plus a unique mechanism plus proof. That's gonna equal authority, right? So problem, that can be an offer enemy, and I'll get into what that means. Unique mechanism, again, I'll get into what new way means, like what you have to offer your new thing, and then also proof, results, testimonials, case studies, all that good stuff. Yeah, so starting with the first part of the formula, the problem. So you want to identify what roadblock is your audience facing that's stopping them from getting to the desired outcome. If you've been in your online coaching business for a long time, you should already know this. It shouldn't be new. This is kind of just the foundations. We got to get this down pat. So once you identify that issue, you can turn it into the enemy. So what I mean by that is maybe their problem is closing deals. Let's say you're a sales coach, a sales trainer. The reason why they can't close deals is because they are reading a script word for word. Bingo, that's the real problem, which you can then turn into your enemy, right? Your enemy is going to be scripts. And so for example, if you can't close deals, this would be an example of something you could say and how you can position scripts as the enemy and also what the actual enemy is. So example, if you can't close deals because you sound like a robot reading off a script, it's not your fault. The industry has lied to you about sales. So again, we're positioning script as an old way of doing things. That's not how you want to do things. And then we're also saying that the industry is the problem. It's not their fault. So they're not getting blamed for their wrongdoing. You can blame something else and you can, kind of target and attack that together. It's a great way to kind of bond with your audience and kind of get them united, right? So yeah, lie has lied to you about sales. So instead, what you should be doing is using a framework. So instead of reading off a script, you should be doing a sale. You should be reading off or going through the steps of a sales framework, right? That's a much better way of doing a sales call. So that leads us right into the unique mechanism, right? So again, recapping the problem is your audience is reading off a script and that's not working for them. It's not getting them to their desired outcome. That's the roadblock. So that's what you can use and you can leverage in your messaging, in your content, basically just trashing scripts and then presenting your unique mechanism as the actual way. And I'll get into what that is. So the unique mechanism, so now your audience is aware that there is a problem or roadblock holding them back from their dream outcome. That roadblock was the scripts, right? That was not getting them to where they want to be. That was a roadblock. That was a constraint. They need a solution. That's where you'll position your offer as a solution, right? So now that they know they have a problem, they don't know what to do, they need a solution, right? So that's where you'll position your offer as a solution. But we don't want to call it the sales framework. That's boring, generic, and a commodity. You need to turn what you sell into a unique mechanism by simply wrapping it up in a cute bow and presenting it as something new. So we can't just say, oh, this sales framework is a new way. This is the thing that's going to change everything for you. Instead of using scripts, you need to use this framework. That's just framework. Like what framework? It sounds boring. It doesn't sound special. It doesn't sound like anything new. We want it to sound like it's new. It doesn't actually have to be new. We can just say it in a way that sounds like it's new, right? That's what your unique mechanism is. So for example, that framework could be called Frechette PIF framework, right? That's like very original, right? Frechette PIF framework. That's you. That's actually my last name, right? So that is creating a unique mechanism around you and your brand that is new to your audience. They never heard of that before, right? Because you've made it, but you've really just kind of packaged something that's already been sold into something that sounds like it's new, right? But you're still going to be providing value and helping people out. Or another example would be the social shock funnel. So there's definitely lots of ways to acquire clients on social media and things like that. I've made my own service in a way that's different, and I called it the social shock funnel, right? So that's another way to repackage something and put your own spin on it to make you stand out. That's really important. That's your unique mechanism. So instead of saying something generic like close every sales call with this sales framework, say get 100% close rate with Frechette's PIF framework, right? That sounds a lot better. Sounds like you have the solution, you know what you're talking about. Okay, and then the last part of this magic formula is proof. So we can't just be saying all this stuff. We can't say, oh, scripts suck, use this, without proof backing it up, right? So now to knock it home, you'll need undeniable proof that your new mechanism works in the form of testimonials, case studies, or client wins. If you don't have any yet, work for free. So if you have 0 testimonials, 0 case studies, you haven't worked with anyone in the industry or in the market with what you have to offer, then you should be working for free until you do get those case studies, and then you can start charging and using those case studies as leverage to charge higher ticket. So if you have clients already, reach out to them and ask for a testimonial. Look for gather client wins and things like that, or just leverage the proof you already have. So all this does is help strengthen your authority online, which you'll need in order to build trust and sell high ticket rates. So presenting the problem that is stopping your audience from getting to where they want to be, and then presenting your new solution or unique mechanism as the way they will actually get to that dream outcome, right? That new thing that you've kind of wrapped up and made it sound cool, like Frechette's PIF framework. Instead of using a script, use Frechette's PIF framework to get to 10K a month, and then having proof. So this could be instead of using scripts like my client Luke was, he started implementing Frechette's PIF framework and hit his first 10K a month in 30 days, right? So that is something that you can incorporate a testimonial into, right? And framing it in that way makes it sound like, okay, this doesn't work, this new thing he's saying works, and here's proof of it works, right? That's the whole idea, and we need this as a foundation in order to move on. So now we want to implement what we just went over. Again, that's why it's important we get that solid. You can even just pull out a notebook and write those things down. Okay, what's the problem in my audience? What's my unique mechanism, or what do I offer, and how can I repackage that in a way that sounds cool and different? And then, do I have proof, right? You should have proof. Yeah, so write those 3 things down. Make sure you have those in notes, because we'll be using them in the rest of the video. Now, implementation. Now that we got the boring but necessary stuff out of the way, we get to take action on it and actually implement it into your profile. This is the first step. We're still setting up your profile and making sure it's optimized for the traffic we'll be driving to it with this strategy. So if you don't follow these next steps, your profile will not be optimized or prepared for the front end traffic coming from your organic and paid content. An Instagram profile can actually be broken down into 3 little mini funnels in order for you to optimize it to the max. So once you've optimized each of these little mini funnels within your profile, you'll be good. So the first one is the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. These are all different sections of your profile, and I'll go over them now in detail and how you can kind of implement what I've already done into your own profile. So the top of the funnel is going to be anything above your story highlights. So that's going to be your bio, your name, your profile picture, okay? So starting with your profile picture, just make sure it's a headshot. You can see your face, maybe have some depth in the background. Maybe you're in a cool vacation spot. It doesn't really matter, just making sure you can see your face. Maybe make it look a little cool, right? I think it's quite a cool profile picture. It's the same spot as this. It looks good. Next, you want to have your name optimized for SEO. So we have Jack Frechette, obviously that's my name. That's because it's my personal brand, right? And then we have this little dash here, and then IG marketing. So anyone looks up marketing or IG marketing on the search bar on Instagram, my profile will be optimized for like that search, right? That keyword, and my profile will, pop up like over other people that do IG marketing and doesn't have that. So that's why it's important to have like what you do in your name as a keyword. So when people do search your name up, that shows up, right? It's important. So let's say you're a sales coach, you want to say, whatever name, high ticket sales coach, remote sales coach, whatever. You want to make sure you have that. Then our bio. So this is going to be your headline. So basically the headline is so my headline is at Shock Media, helping online coaches sign 5+ clients guarantee with the social shock funnel. So we can break this down into 3 different aspects, right? So helping, and then your target audience, dream outcome. So helping target audience do dream outcome, which is signing 5+ clients with new mechanism. So I can write it out here. So helping target audience do dream outcome with unique mechanism, right? So this could literally be anything, helping entrepreneurs close $5 million deals. $5 million. Yeah, we'll just put this. $5 million deals with Frichette's PIF framework, right? Something a little cool there. That's your headline. You want to make sure your headline is following this framework here. Your headline needs to follow. That's the first line in your bio. Very important. That's the first line in your bio. The second line in your bio is going to be an authority statement. So me, I had generated 100K plus views, and I also had 100+ appointments set, but I took that away because it was just too much, and I wanted to have my first headline pop more. Okay, so then your second line is going to be, so yeah, first line, I'll just label it here. So it's going to be your first line of your bio. And then your second line is going to be biggest achievement, right? So biggest achievement. Third line is going to be a call to action to a free training or to your video sales letter, basically. We'll go over in another step how to create a video sales letter. This is further down in the strategy, and that's actually creating your video sales letter. But yeah, we want to have a call to action, like as you can see here, training 0 to 6K in 1 day. One of my clients made 6K in 1 day with the social shock funnel. So I leverage that as a video sales letter to get people interested in what I have to offer, right? So that is an example. You just want to have your best client case study as your video sales letter, and I'll get into that more later. But yeah, this is a call to action to that. Very important. We want to make sure that's dialed in. And then the link, obviously, we want to have a deep link that goes directly to the YouTube app instead of opening up a browser on Instagram. It's worse because then someone has to sign in to subscribe, and that just sucks, right? So making sure that your link is a deep link, sending them to the video sales letter, which I'll go over after. So that's the top of the funnel, making sure that everything is dialed in here, your name, your profile picture, and your bio. Right now, the middle of the funnel, which is your content, and then we're also going to be focusing on the three pin posts on your profile. That's really the most important part. So the middle of the funnel is going to be your 3 pin posts and all the other content below it. And this is basically like the nurturing part of your Instagram profile. It's like a mini nurture. It's not the people can go and scroll and binge your content, right? That's really important, especially when you're having new traffic come in. They want to see more of you and see what you have to offer, what kind of value you have to offer, right? So it's very important to have lots of content. That's the middle of the funnel when someone comes into it. 3 pin posts are going to be either a lifestyle picture, the first one, right? Just shows you know what you're talking about. You are who you say you are, and you actually live the life, right? Lifestyle posts, preferably showing off the dream outcome of potential clients, right? So like you can see, I'm here, I'm in Dubrovnik, sipping some wine, right? And that's will be the dream outcome of some of my clients, right? And the next one is what you do. So this is a video breakdown of kind of what the social shock funnel is, how it works, and how it can be implemented. And then a client win. So my client went from 0 to 6K in a day. And that's the 3rd pin post. So you want to have lifestyle posts, Then you want to have what you do is your second post. It could be a breakdown of the system you have, like whatever, right? And then you're just making sure that it is what you do. And then the third one is a client win. So this basically shows any traffic coming in that, okay, this guy's legit. Look at the lifestyle picture. Okay, this is what he offers, right? Like this is what his offer is, and that's the second pin post. And then the third one is, okay, that's proof. Okay, like he's legit. It actually does work, right? And then also a bunch of different content, just giving free value. Maybe some authentic content, like I have a day in the life here, more authentic. Just a bunch of different kinds of content to nurture your audience even further. And then we move on to the bottom of the funnel. And this is also important, and it's the bottom of the funnel, even though would be like the middle of the funnel if you're kind of looking at it from that, like the actual profile would be the top there, then the story highlights, then the content. But for this, it is the bottom of the funnel, because if someone clicks on your story highlights, guess what they're going to see? They're going to see your client results, they're going to see some of the value you give out, and they're going to see like how you live your life. So that is the 3 story highlights you want to have on your profile, and it's the most important one. So you want to have highlights, basically you living life. Maybe you're in some exotic places on the beach, things like that. Just like shows who you are as a person and backs what you have to say up even more, because you're living the life, right? And then second is client results. This is the most important, right? Client results, you want to show as much like proof as possible on your Instagram. And so presenting that in your story highlights is key, to like really get to that point where process is like, okay, I'm looking at his client results. He has amazing client results. I want to work with him. Like if someone can go through like 3 story highlights of your client results, and they see all these highlights and all these client results, right? They're going to want to work with you. And so having that is super important. You want to have as many client results, story highlights as possible. Even just filling them up with like 5 stories and then creating a new one, right? It looks like there's more than there actually is. That's a little hack you can use. And then third, value. So this can be like some maybe free templates you have, some free trainings that you've posted on your story and with the link, and then you can just save it here, or you give us some like free value of like speaking about a topic, things like that. I have that as well. So yeah, that is the bottom of the funnel, and you want to make sure you showing your life in the highlight section, showing amazing client results, and very important, you want to show as many client results as possible, and then also giving out some free value, some free training, things like that. Then once you've dialed in these 3 mini funnels for your Instagram account, you will officially be ready for the next step, which is driving traffic to your conversion ready profile. So after you go through and optimize each of these sections, these 3 mini funnels as I call them, once they are dialed in and you followed each kind of step I've shown you for each mini funnel, once you've done that, you're now good to start making content and start driving traffic to your profile, because we don't want to send traffic to a profile that's not optimized, right? We don't want to do that, because then it's going to be pointless for us to send traffic to something that's not going to convert and get us leads. So the next step is creating attention around what you have to offer. This is the second part of the strategy, and obviously where you're going to start to see that traffic. So there are 2 different types of front-end traffic on Instagram. That is simply organic traffic and paid traffic. But before we get into paid, we want good organic content to show new followers we are someone who consistently provides value on Instagram. And my rule of thumb is we want to have around 7 organic reels. That is like really good value, and that you've done in a row before we start running ads. Like when someone comes onto the profile right away, they'll see those 7 posts, those 7 reels, and they'll be like, okay, he's not just running these ads and trying to get me to buy his stuff. He's really trying to provide value to me and give me some free stuff before I might commit to a call, right? So very important you have at least 7 good organic reels. How do we create a good organic piece of content, right? There is 2 different kinds of organic content now, and that is broad and niched. So broad organic content is going to be the more viral content that's going to get lots of views, lots of likes, lots of engagement, right? That's going to go, it's really broad, but you're going to be talking about a broad topic. It's not going to be really directed towards your target audience. So you'll get less qualified followers, but maybe you'll get a large amount of new followers, and some of those people will be your target audience, right? It will just be like a lot more people that you don't really want to talk with, right? They're not gonna buy from you, so it's not really the same as creating a niche piece of content, like I do all the time, that it really calls out your target audience and provides them value, so they will pay you money. So you can go broad and you can go niched. A mix of both is good. So the foundation of content is to not talk about nonsense. So the foundation of content is the topic, the idea, what you're actually talking about, right? So that is the most important part about your content, because again, if you're talking about nonsense, no one listens to you, no matter your hook, your script, or your editing on that video. If the content or topic sucks, it's not going to do well. The video will not do well, right? So we want to make sure that we get the foundation down pat when we're creating organic content. So we can do this. We can find good, valuable content topics using these three research methods, right? So that is number one, your story. Number two, a new content research, and number three, what works. So I'm going to show you what this actually means. You're probably like, what the hell is your story? What are these research methods? What is this? I'm going to show you right now on the mashokmedia.io's content creation hub, where we plan all the content. It's a free asset you can download if you'd like. You can just DM me and I'll send over the content creation hub for free. But this is what I use to create content. It's what my clients use, and it's how we actually conduct research. So I'll show you right now what I mean by research methods. So the first one is your story. Your story. So I have a video breakdown here, but obviously we're not going to be watching this on this call. If you do get the content creation hub, you'll get it. So basically what this means is we're going and we're asking you questions. You'll answer questions about your life, right? You're going to see, okay, you're going to answer all these questions. You're going to like really spill your life story onto this. And the whole point of that is to get content ideas. And I'll show you an example of what I mean about content ideas, like how do you get content ideas from answering questions. I'll show you that after. But the next research method is finding viral videos. And this is basically going and finding a creator on TikTok, like Laced Media is another content marketing account, and then going and finding his most viral videos, and then emulating those and using those as content ideas. So if one of his ideas was 5,000 followers in 30 days, like if I just started from scratch, because here's how I get 5,000 followers in 30 days as a newbie. And so that really resonated with a lot of people, and that was a really broad video that went viral and got him lots of clicks and views and likes and new followers, right? And so that is another way you can research, is looking at your competitors. And this is like a database that you can store all these videos and all these creators on, so you can kind of keep track of all the ideas you have. That's another research method. That's research method number two. And then research method number three, new content research. So basically here we are looking at Quora, Google, and YouTube as our kind of ways to research. So Quora, we're looking for questions people have about your niche, and then looking at that and seeing, okay, we can answer that question in a video and using that as a good topic, because you're answering what the market is concerned about or having a problem with. Then number two, Google, looking at the news headlines. In like when you look up your niche, you'll go to the news section after you look it up. So if you go content marketing and then news, it'll be like AI is taking over content marketing, and I can make a piece of content on how AI can like supercharge your content, things like that. So that's another way to find really good topics that are trending online, right? Going to Google. And then lastly, number three, YouTube, going to a YouTube video talking about content marketing, and then going and filtering all the comments to questions, and then seeing all the biggest questions people have about content marketing, and I can answer those in my content, right? So these are all ways you can research really good, solid topics that is going to build the foundation of your organic content. This is very, very important, right? So that is the different research methods. Those are the three research methods. If you want this like content creation hub, just send me a DM on Instagram talking about this, like, hey, can I have that? I'll send over the link to you, and you can get access to that right away, and you can make content creation a lot easier for yourself. So yeah, I am going to go back to the main page I was on. Yeah. So that is the foundation of content ideas. So now we have the kind of the research aspect of it, but we want to turn that research into topics. So we want to convert your research into topics. So taking your research and formulating it into a solid idea that is your own. So this is the example I was talking about. So for example, your story, let's say you answer a question, you answer one of the questions in the Your Story document, and your answer was, after 6 months, I generated 100K as a cold caller. So maybe like what you did before your current profession, or what you did before you became a coach, you were a cold caller, and now you teach cold calling or coach cold calling. And so you could say, after 6 months, you generated 100K as a cold caller. That'd be the answer to one of the questions in the document. And then you can turn that into a content idea by saying, I made 100K with this cold calling script. And that's like the hook, right? So you're basically taking the answer from that Your Story document and turning it into a hook, and that will be your content idea. So then your hook would be, I made 100K with this cold calling script, and then basically you give away the cold calling script, and that's like valuable content, right? It's pretty simple. Just researching ideas, taking that research, creating it, turning it into an idea or into a hook that you can then use to write the rest of the script or whatever, and then actually record. It's a pretty simple process. Get good topics, turn them into your own ideas, script. Easy. So then now we're moving on to the script creation phase. So that is, now you have the foundation of your content, which again, like I said, is the idea. Now you will be doing the following. So you want to create a hook that grabs attention, like this one right here. You kind of already made the hook. So you create that hook that grabs attention. Then you write a script that retains viewers' attention. Then lastly, you have a call to action for your viewers so you benefit, right? So what I mean by that is you have a call to action, follow for more, and then they follow you. That's your benefit. You gave them, they give you a follow, a like, engagement. That's what they give you. I'm going to show you some examples of scripts that we have here. Again, the Content Creation Hub, which you can get access to if you message me. You'll get complete access to all these scripts. But some of the organic scripts here we have is Pope, Common Mistake Framework, Personal Stories Framework, and the Batman Framework. Let's go on the Batman Framework and check that out. So we have here, the hook is called enemy creation. So the hook is basically attacking an old way of doing things, right? For example, here we have, if you want to sign 10 new clients this month, sending cold DMs will not get you there. That's the enemy. The enemy is going to be cold DMs. That's the enemy, right? We don't like that. We don't want to do that anymore. That'll be the enemy. So that's what the enemy creation aspect of this is. And this is just a script framework. We can even go and look at Pope. This is probably an easier one to follow. So problem aware. So the hook of your video is going to make your viewers problem aware. So are you looking to grow a fat ass for the summer, right? That's pretty funny. And then, that's like a really bold hook. That's a broad hook that you can use to get lots of people's attention, right? So you make them problem aware. You ask them this question. People are like, yeah, I do actually. That is calling out to me. And then you reel in the audience that's going to be intrigued to that question. This is called a transition hook or the opportunity. And then you say, by only having to work out 3 times a week without even stepping foot into a gym. Now they're like, what? Like, what? Are you serious? I can get this and I don't even have to go to the gym and it's only 3 times a week. Let me hear more, right? So now they're more intrigued. And then you give them the practical steps. So the actual solution to this problem you created, you give it out. You give out the schedule, the workouts they need, the exercises. That's what you're giving out in the next step. And then the third step is the engagement CTA. So like I said, where you benefit. So make sure to save this like booty summer routine for later, right? And then you get a bunch of saves, you get a bunch of engagement, new followers, things like that. So that's where you benefit. So following simple frameworks like these is super easy, and you can get access to all these organic script frameworks. Just DM me on Insta, and I'll send that over to you for completely free. So that is the script creation. Following those simple frameworks is amazing to turn the ideas you do research and formulate, and then creating them into really engaging scripts that are going to do well on social media. We don't want to make scripts that are long and right. Like that's there's no point to that. Short, concise, valuable. Those are great for social media, and they're going to do well. So now that you have your script creation done, we're going into the broad versus niche. So when you are making content, you can go broad or niched based off of the hook. So you can call out a niche audience in the hook, or you can call out a general audience in the hook. So for example, I'm going to say this will be a niched hook that you could use to really call out your target audience. So you can say, this is what I would say. So I could say, here's how to generate 50 new leads as an online coach, as an online sales coach on Instagram. This is pretty bad hook, but I'm just showing the example. So the reason why this is niched is because I said online sales coach, niched, sales coach, super specific, very niche down. And then you could have a broad one. You could say, here's how to generate 50 new leads for your online business on Instagram. This is going to be broad. And this is going to be broad. You can probably guess why. This this is the part that makes it broad. Online business is very broad. This is not really calling out anyone specific. Pretty much anyone that sells anything on Insta can watch this video and benefit from it. And so that is really the difference between a broad piece of content and a niche piece of content. And I like to have a ratio of 3 to 1, so 3 pieces of niche content to 1 broad content piece of content, because we really want to target our audience and we want to help them out the most, because if we're helping them out, then they're going to buy from us, right? That's the whole point, right? So really targeting and cracking down and being niche on your content is very, very important, as opposed to going viral. So that is the difference between broad versus niche. And now we're moving on to the organic posting schedule. So you want to aim to record 3 batches of 10 videos a month. So you stay consistent. This is going to be, staying consistent is going to tell the algorithm that you are someone that posts a lot, and it's just going to boost you overall. So just staying consistent is overall a great thing. And probably thinking like, okay, 3 batches of 10 videos a month. How the hell am I going to do that? Right? So I'm going to break it down right now on how you can actually do that realistically. It'll probably be more like 2 batches of 10 scripts a month, but two batches of 10 videos a month. But if you really want to see results with this strategy, then three batches of 10 videos a month is amazing. So how to stay on top of that posting schedule? So for 3 to 7 days, you want to research ideas like I showed you and document them into a hub, like the content creation hub I showed you, something like that. Then spend 1 day scripting all the ideas you come up with. So after the 3 to 7 days of research and turning that research into content ideas, you want to spend 1 day just scripting them all out, turn them into scripts like I also showed you, those script templates, turning those ideas into the scripts like I showed you already. After you script them out, the next day you want to sit down and record all the scripts you wrote out, and then just repeat this process 3 times a month and you should be good. So after you record and now you have them all done, you can literally just start that process up again. Like, okay, 3 to 7 days, okay, I'm looking at coming up with ideas, doing research and things like that. And you can literally start that process right after you're done recording that batch. You can start getting into the next batch, right? And then obviously the next part is getting your content edited. This is pretty simple, especially if you're already producing content. All you really need to do is simply post a story saying you're hiring editors. And yeah, so if you're already someone making content, you should get multiple inquiries. Probably have people in your DMs right now being like, hey, I can edit your content. Reach out to them, get test trial, or get on a call with them, work with them, and have them as your editor to edit all of the actual footage you're recording, because you do not have time to learn how to edit videos. Like, let's be real. You record, you can do all that stuff, but when it comes to editing, it's just too much work, especially if you're trying to create engaging pieces of content. So yeah, after you get the content edited, now you have your organic strategy dialed in. So if you follow all the steps I've just gone through, you should have a pretty solid organic strategy dialed in for your Instagram. Now we're going on to paid ads. We covered why organic is important and why that's first before paid ads. So let's go on to the paid ad strategy. So the most important thing about running paid ads for a personal brand is making sure you have the case studies or testimonials to back up what it is you are claiming. A cold audience, which is what you're actually going to be reaching with paid ads, will not follow anyone with 0 social proof. If you're telling them you can solve their problems with your new unique mechanism, and you're missing that part of the formula that is the proof, who's going to listen to you? No one. Okay, you need to have that proof aspect dialed in 100% in order to see results with paid ads. So ensuring you have the case studies is the first step. If you don't have case studies, again, like I said, do free work, collect those, because you can't run paid ads without case studies or testimonials. And the second step is to make sure you have a name for your unique mechanism as discussed above. For example, the social shock funnel will be my unique mechanism. So putting it together, you will run 2 ads that will have a different hook, but contain the same content after the hook. So the paid ad strategy for Instagram, especially when you're just doing it for the first time, we're only going to have 2 ads running at the same time, and they're just going to be different hooks. But after the hook, it's kind of like the same, same strategy, right? Same wording, same type of script. Nothing too much changes after the different hooks. So spend whatever your budget is on these ads a day, and if they're working, just scale that budget up. If they don't work, take them down or leave whatever one is working better up while you record new ones. So you can kind of split test ads, see what one works better, see what one doesn't. If they're both not working well, drop them both, re-record, experiment, right? That's the whole kind of process of paid ads. But yeah, if you don't really want to guess how to, create a paid ad and guess if it's going to work or not, you can just follow this simple structure of what a paid ad is and how you can put it together. So the 2 best possible callouts for a paid ad is either calling out the audience in a problem they're struggling with, or calling out the audience and showing them their dream outcome in their face. So I don't know if you understand exactly what I just said, but basically these 2 are the different hooks that you'll be using. So like I said, you'll have 2 ads with 2 different hooks, And ideally, you have one that is calling out the audience and then addressing a problem. And then the next one be calling out the audience and showing them the dream outcome they could get if they work with you. And I'll show you the exact templates I use, my clients use, in the Content Creation Hub. This is I also included in the Content Creation Hub, and these are script templates. We already went over the organic ones. These are the paid ad templates. So step-by-step framework. This is like what I said before. This would be the, calling out your audience and showing them the dream outcome. So you could say, here's how I collected a net of 20K from my agency in 7 days after implementing the shock acquisition strategy. So dream state, right? Collecting 20K, right, in 7 days. And this is calling out agency owners. So let's say if I was targeting agency owners, maybe I had an agency coaching program, I would say this, and they'd be like, holy shit, what strategy is this guy using to get that much money in 7 days with his agency, right? So this would be a perfect ad to run if you had like an agency coaching offer, right? And you wanted to, get people into your program. And then after you eliminate limiting beliefs. So after you make this bold claim, lots of thoughts are going to be racing through someone's head. They're going to be like, okay, you probably did this, and this, and this. I think I already know what he did. Like, he probably already did this. Like, I could do that. And then you hit them without sending millions of DMs a day or spending a dime on ads. So now you've just said, I've made 20K in 7 days without sending any DMs or spending a dime on ads. Now they're like, what the hell is this strategy? I need to watch more. I need to learn more. And that is really, really great, because when you're running a paid ad, you want people to watch to the end, right? Just like with anything, but paid ads is different because you're spending dollars and you want to make sure people watch to the end and actually take action on what you say. So then you eliminate the limiting belief, and then at this point, they're like, okay, what the heck? I need to watch. You give them the step-by-step strategy of how you actually achieved that outcome. So for example, let's say you were a sales coach and you had someone that you were training, and he made 10K in 30 days after joining your program by getting placed on an offer. You could simply make an ad saying, here's how my student made 10K in 30 days with high ticket closing, and he didn't have to send any DMs, and he was just placed automatically. Something super easy and simple. And then people are like, okay, I want to be a closer. How did this happen? He didn't have to send any DMs. What? He didn't do any work to get placed on the offer. What? I want to know more. And then basically you give a step-by-step of your service, right? Of like how that actually happened, of how you took that client from point A to point B, given that step-by-step. And that's basically what you want to do there. It's almost like a rags to riches of your client's story, right? Before he got into where he is now with your program. That's super ideal when you're making a paid ad. Now you want to have a lead capture or engagement CTA. So if you're looking to be more bold, there's more friction on a lead capture CTA telling people to DM you, because it takes more work. They actually have to, press your profile and press the DM button and send you a message. More work. But if you could say for a lead capture CTA at the end of a paid ad, you could say, and if you want to learn more about how the Shock system can add an extra 20K in monthly recurring revenue, then DM me Shock. More work. Or you could just say, make sure to follow for more ways you can shock the market and become #1 in your industry. But yeah, the engagement CTA is less friction, and when you do get new followers from those paid ads, you can simply message them with our DM strategy, which we'll get into actually later in this video. I'll show you exactly how to handle inbound leads. So yeah, that is one of the frameworks. We also have another one called the call out framework, and that's the problem one. We don't need to get into that, but if you do want this Content Creation Hub, like I said before, just send me a DM on Instagram and I'll send it over to you for free. Now you know the structure of a paid ad and what's going to make a successful paid ad. And this is actually crucial for you because then you can, really get that paid traffic dialed in. So after implementing everything in this phase, you will now have mass amounts of traffic coming to your conversion ready profile. And the next phase is nurturing that traffic. So first, we've optimized your profile for traffic. We've created that traffic with organic content and paid content. More paid because paid is going to get those qualified followers, and the organic short form content is going to nurture that paid traffic you're bringing in. So paid traffic, we really want to dial in the messaging, basically showing people, okay, what you do works, what you say is gold. So the next part is nurturing your audience. So now we have all this traffic coming into your profile, and there some are going to be warmer than others, some are going to be a bit cold, some are going to know you, some are not going to know you, most are probably not going to know you, which is why we want to nurture the audience. If you sell a fairly high ticket program, course, or service, it is essential you nurture and educate your lead before sales call, right? Or they're going to be a no-show or not going to, right? So yeah, because if you don't, not only will they not buy, but the entire call, you will be trying to convince them to buy. instead of getting a deep understanding of their pain points and how you can help. Because usually on sales calls, you probably know that you're supposed to ask questions, get an understanding of where they are, things like that. But if they don't know about anything about your service, you have to tell them about it, you have to convince them that it's going to work, and then you have to get into the asking them, oh, would this be a right fit? It's just a headache. And if we can eliminate the phase of like telling them what your service and offer actually is, that's super ideal, because then we just get into the nitty gritty of them and how we can help them. That's really what we want to do on sales calls. So nurturing your audience comes down to one simple step, and that's creating a video sales letter breaking down your entire service before the call. So you want to send them a video sales letter before the sales call, right? Or before they even book a call with you, you want to send over the video sales letter so they can get educated and warmed up. So you also want to create a bunch of long form YouTube content. I'll get into the purpose of why we need a VSL and why we need YouTube content right now. So the purpose of a VSL is to educate your audience on your offer or service before booking a call or getting on a call, so they know exactly what they're getting themselves into, and it's really just a yes or no. A VSL can also be used as a DM sales asset. Let's say you have an appointment setter and this prospect has lots of questions about what you do, and you just send them this video sales letter breaking down everything, and then you kind of eliminate any questions, objections, and things like that, and it's all handled, right? So it's super easy to just be like, okay, booked call, yes or no. You want to book a call, yes or no? Yeah. Okay, yes? Okay, amazing. Here's the link. They also confirm with themselves if it is what they need. So while they're watching their video sales letter, they'll be watching the system, they'll be watching people's results, things like that, and then it will confirm in their mind, like, okay, I want to get where those people are in this video that you've helped. I want to be there, and with this system, I can get there. And so they're confirming in their head, like, okay, yeah, this system is something, yeah, that I'm actually going to benefit from and need. So I need this. Yeah, and then they're just pre-sold leads on sales calls. And basically I said sales calls because they're like onboarding calls almost. If you have an educated, warmed up lead, you're just asking them questions, getting to know them, and helping them make the decision of yes or no. It's basically just yes or no at the end of sales calls. It's super, super easy. Everything becomes way easier, right? And then that's the purpose of the VSL. It just makes the entire nurturing process of your prospect really, really easy, and you definitely want to get that dialed in. Next is the purpose of the YouTube content. So why do we need YouTube content? It's something like this that will warm up your audience. You give even more value, you keep giving and giving and giving to your audience, and then eventually they're gonna want to give back, right? You also establish yourself as the authority. So creating long form pieces of content like this, showing your expertise and what you know in like kind of a more longer format and not just 30-second clips, is a great way to build that trust and authority with your audience and to give more value than you ever could on a little piece of short form content. This is going to give way more value than any piece of content I could ever make on Instagram. That's why I'm doing this. Now the purpose of the VSL and the YouTube content. Let's get into the structure of your VSL. So what you're actually going to be saying in the video sales letter, and how to run that. So the step one is going to be the introduction in your video sales letter. This should last 10 to 30 seconds. So you want to introduce yourself, who you help, and the free training you're going to break down that led to a client achieving a specific result. You want to keep this part short and sweet, so here's a template you can follow. Hey, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this free training. If you're a target audience struggling with pain point, then I made this video to share with you how I took my client from X to X using unique mechanisms. So for example, if I were to say that, I would say, hey, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this free training. If you're a sales coach struggling to get leads through Instagram and booked onto calls, then I made this video to share with you how I took my client Vince from 0 with his new high ticket sales coaching offer to 6K in 1 day using the social shock funnel. So that'd be a perfect example of something you could say, and that's literally something I've done myself, so that's amazing. Then this step 2 of the video sales letter is going to be a breakdown of the system/unique mechanism. So now you're actually going to be giving the value of what it is you do, what you offer, and how you're actually able to get someone from point A to point B with your system, right? So here we want to use a Lucidchart or Google document to showcase the exact process that took from where they were before to where they are now with what you taught. If you don't have an exact system written and dialed down, so let's say you kind of just had a client and you kind of just like did it, and now he has this result, and you didn't really have a system, right? Well, you can turn like what you did with that client into the system. So like, let's say you did X, X, and X, and Y, and Z, and Z, and Z. In order for him to get that result, you can just turn that kind of into a more systemized approach, into like an actual visual system people can see. And then step number 3, it's going to be your final statement, CTA/proof loopback. Very important step, 100%. So once we brought them through the whole process, they've seen the whole system, the entire service, how they can go from point A to point B, just like your client that you got the result with. We want to throw some slander on old past processes, try to get to the dream outcome you're promising. So basically, if you're helping people lose weight, they tried a keto diet that didn't work, then you want to slander that, right? So for example, this can be an example here. With the social shock funnel, you will never have to personally send another cold DM to book a call or think, script, and edit content that you don't even know will work. All you need to worry about is taking book calls with qualified pre-sold prospects and actually fulfilling on your service. So right here, I basically gave this like loop back, this like final statement, kind of just slandering any other old methods or past methods that they tried to, get clients through Instagram. Then after you shot your last bullet at the old ways of your prospects trying to achieve their dream state, you can bring them into a welcoming arms with your new and better way of getting what they want with a simple CTA that also loops back to proof what you are trying to sell works. And that goes something like this. So if you want to learn more about how the social shock funnel can take you from 0 to 6K, just like my client Vince, then you can book a personal one-on-one call with me below to talk more about how this system can help you. That is the structure of the VSL. You can just rewatch that and implement that, or you can go onto my YouTube channel and watch my video sales letter, which is 0 to 6K in one day. My client Vince with the social shock funnel. That was my first video on this channel. And you can go ahead and watch that and you can see what an actual example would be. Then after you have your VSL dialed in, you want to repurpose your YouTube content as the YouTube kind of strategy, right? To make your YouTube creation process easier, you want to make longer formatted videos based on the reels that perform the best each week. So for example, if you made a reel about handling an objection and it did well, you can make a YouTube video of you handling the top 10 most common objections, right? So I need to think about an objection, it does really well, then you'll want to make a YouTube video handling the top 10 most common objections people have on sales calls. That can really help out your audience, and it will help out your audience because they engaged heavily with that reel beforehand. Once you've created your VSL and you've started repurposing your reels into YouTube content, you can move on to the last and final pillar of the strategy, which brings everything together. So what have we done? We've optimized our profile. We've generated traffic to that profile with organic and paid content. And then we've also created a nurturing system that will turn that traffic we're getting from organic and paid into someone that's actually going to be an educated and warm lead and someone that's going to buy what you have to offer. Very important step, and that's what we just finished here. Okay, so now we're moving on to the fourth and final pillar of the strategy, and this is what's going to make you the actual money, and this is the conversion point. So now we have everything in place in order to start making money off the new followers coming in. We have two ways of generating leads, like I just said, paid traffic and the organic traffic. We'll get more qualified leads from the paid traffic and less from the organic. The organic is still very important to have. So when your paid traffic does start following you, they can get warmed up right away with your organic content you produce. From these two sources of traffic, you will be getting inbound leads, as they're called. People that are coming to you first, that are following you, engaging with your content, liking, things like that. We're getting inbound leads, and this is the process I personally use and my clients use to turn those inbound leads into booked appointments. So right now I'm going to show you this process right here, basically breaking everything down. So this is the inbound kind of appointment setting process and how you can turn the inbound leads you get from all the traffic that we're going to be getting from the organic and paid content, and how to turn those inbound leads into actual booked appointments in your calendar. So this is the process for that, and I'm going to go through it right now. So there are 5 different types of inbound leads. That is a DM comment call to action, DM from a story call to action, DM from a bio call to action, and then DMing a liker and DMing a follower. So what this means is if you get a comment on one of your posts that is following instructions from the video, something like, hey, comment shock below, and we'll give you some more information on how the process works, something like that, right? So you would say to that, hey, saw your message on X post. What's your current situation right now in your sales business? Fill me in. Or if it was a DM from a story call to action. So let's say you had a story. Basically you said, I got this result for this client. If you want the same results, DM me the word, whatever. And someone DM'd you that word, you would say, hey, what's up? Would you mind if I ask a few questions to learn more about the X business you're running? Or if it was a DM from bio call to action. So let's say you have a call to action in your bio, basically saying, hey, DM me this keyword if you want to learn how to do high ticket sales, whatever. If you got that call to action, you would say, hey, name, nice of you to connect. Would you mind if I ask you a couple questions so I can understand where you are right now, your goals, and how you're feeling overall about your business? The next one is DMing a liker or any engagement on any post from your ideal client. So that you've been engaging with the post, just wanted to reach out and connect. How is your sales business going, right? Then you will have finally the last inbound lead type is a follower. So a new follower, you would just DM them this. You would say, hey, thanks for the follow. Just happened to be on my phone and figured I'd reach out to you run X business, right? Once you kind of have that dialed in, they're all gonna lead to the same conversational workflow. It's just the starting message will be a little bit tiny tweaked for each type of inbound lead, right? So the prospect will reply if they allow you to ask or they start to share, right? They respond to the questions that you did ask them in these different variations. You'll just move forward. And so step one, ask probing questions. So yeah, the prospect will reply positively to your initial message. After that, you would say, what type of offer are you pushing right now? And who does that kind of serve, right? After the prospect replies to that, you'll want to reply with any of these current situation questions to understand where they are right now. You can either say like how many clients you're working with, are you working with any clients currently? Let's go with what's your current monthly recurring revenue? That's the one we're gonna play on. So they'll reply with that and answer, and you'll say okay, nice, and then you'll say okay, nice. First message, and then the second message will be, so what's your revenue? So yeah, what's your revenue goal for your business? So let's say they're at 3K MMR right now, and then you ask them what's your current revenue goal, and they say 10K per month. You'll be like, okay, so what do you think the biggest obstacle that's stopping you from getting there, stopping you from achieving 10K per month? So that's the next question you're going to ask after they respond to, what's your revenue goal. The next step is to provide value with your video sales letter, which we actually recorded in the third phase. The reason why it's important is so we can use it in this conversational kind of like workflow here, right? So we can use that as a sales asset when we're actually trying to get a lead nurtured and onto a call. So that's why it's very important that you do that. And that's why it's in the other phase. If a prospect replies to like, what do you think is holding you back? They're either going to admit to having an obstacle, meaning they'll be like, yeah, I think this is holding me back. Or they'll be like, yeah, nothing's really holding me back right now. I think, I can just do it myself. So if they don't admit to having an obstacle, you want to proceed with this. You'll say, so here's the deal. I have worked with, 100 clients who, all have kind of the similar situations that you mentioned. So I can probably shed some light if that's something you're open to. And then you can either say this, the other message, which is just a reworded version of that. Yeah, and then the prospects will either reply with, okay, yeah, you're right. I'll hear what you got to say. Or they'll just be like, no. Right? I'll just say no. And you'll just proceed by saying like, no worries, I appreciate your time. Just to give you some value out of this, I posted X on my page to help X achieve X, right? So I posted this video breaking down, how to get more clients to help, people like you achieve 10K per month. So dropping a follow and going through my content would help you with your constraints right now. And then just turning that person into a follower, get into the nurture process again. So then eventually, when they do have that constraint really booming, like they were like, okay, I think I should have done it, or they do make more money, they hit you up again, and they've been watching your content, right? So it's even better. So yeah, if they reply with yes here, or they just admit to having an obstacle, you'll say, okay, cool. Can I send over a free training on how we had a client make 6K in a day using the social shock funnel as an example? They'll either say yes, or they will say no. And if they say no, you'll proceed back to this, or you'll turn them into, a follower and get them in the nurture sequence. If they say yes, you will simply say, well, here's a free training. Let me know if it is valuable for you and your business. And then you send them the link, obviously. And if they do not reply after you send it, and 24 hours goes by, you'll want to send them a follow-up. Basically, just say like, what'd you think? Then if they still don't respond after 24 hours, you'll say, are you still with me? Again, 24 hours, question mark. Again, another 24 hours. A GIF ghost saying, are you ghosting me, low? Right? Something a little funny there. And if they do reply after watching the training, or they reply to any of these follow-ups, you'll go into the third step, which is getting them on a sales call. Then you will say here, do you feel the system in place could alleviate the constraints you're having? So the system that you explained in the video sales letter, you would just ask them like, hey, do you think that would actually help you out? And then if yes, if they agree to that, then you would just say, okay, definitely I agree. I think it would be some value to hop on a call this week and see how this system can be implemented into your business. Are you free at all this week? And if that's the case, you'll proceed here. But if they say like no to the system helping them out, you can loop back to here where you're just saying like, okay, yeah, follow my account. I provide value, stuff like that. You're just turning them into a follower again. But yeah, if they say yes and they agree to the call, you'll proceed here. But if they say no, you simply just ask them why. You would just say like, as you have said, this system would allow you to, reach that 10K per month mark. What would be holding you back from hopping on a call and reaching that goal? Eventually the prospect will either agree or not. If they don't agree, again, just put them back into like that follower nurture system. If they do agree, then you'll proceed here where you're going to say, okay, I'm going to send over my calendar now. I'm at my desk for the next 10 minutes to get you booked in. So let me know what time you pick. This adds some urgency so they actually do end up booking the call, and they have to, tell you like what time, you picked. So they actually do book a call on the spot. So the prospect will book a time, and then you will send over like maybe a content asset. If you have a content asset to send them, that can just be like maybe a client case study you have on YouTube, or some other YouTube free trainings that you have already made. You can just send that over to them so they can watch it leading up to the call. If a call was booked a few days out, 2 days after the content asset was sent, ask them how they liked it, start a conversation with that, kind of like you did with the video sales letter. Just say what's up. And then the day before, send them over a message asking if they're still good for tomorrow's call. So you want to make sure they actually do show up and ask them if they're going to attend. If they don't reply, you're going to wait 20 minutes and then hit them with one of the following kind of follow-up messages. It's either a question mark, like a waiting GIF, or just bumping this to the top of your inbox. That'll be follow-up number 1. And if they don't respond after 24 hours, obviously we're coming up close to the actual call time. So you'll just say something like, hey, you alive, low, or a ghost GIF, like don't ghost me, low. Something like that for the follow-up too. And obviously they don't respond to that, they're not going to show up to the call, which would be unfortunate. But yeah, if the prospect replies to the message you send about like, are you good for tomorrow's call? Then you'll just simply say, great, talk soon, and that'll be the end of that. So that is like the entire kind of like taking an inbound lead and turn it into a booked appointment, and how you can actually do that with this like pretty easy to follow workflow. If you made it to the end, I thank you for sticking around. This definitely was a bit long, and in return, I hope you learned a lot and are ready to go into 2024 guns blazing and ready to help people, right? Because that's the whole point of this. That's what I do, that's what you do. So yeah, if you would like any of the assets I was using in this video, like the content creation hub, which I used to research, come up with content ideas, kind of plan that out. Or if you'd like the DM workflow I just went over, you can just send me a DM on Instagram. I linked it down in the description below. You can just shoot me a message on there asking for the content creation hub, like, hey Jack, can I get my hands on that? Or the DM workflow, right? And I'll send it over to you for free, no problem. Also, if you are an online coach who's looking to implement this type of strategy going into 2024, but you don't really want to, partake in all this heavy lifting, all these like content ideas, scripting everything out, you don't have the time to do that because you're actually busy running your business. You can learn more about what I do and what Shock Media does by booking a call with the link also in the description below. And there I'll just kind of run you through what we actually do and kind of how we can help you out with this entire process. So all you really have to do is press record, and the rest is kind of taken care for you. Yeah, other than that, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you guys for like watching all the way to the end here, and I'll see you in the next video.